Hello guys, welcome back. This is the explaining Vanilla Plus video. This is now you're watching the new quick videos plus screen, about 12-14 seconds, 15 seconds, and we're in the ES. I have enabled background music for you guys that you want to have music. I have my two new sets, the old style pop thing and royalty free music. So let's explain a few things. Now we have coding, which is the 18.6 as you've seen before. We have the Raspbian desktop, and I'm gonna go start that. I wanna show you something that I've added, and credit goes to Ross McKillop from an article he had almost about 12 years ago. And if you go to the system tools and you go to system info on desktop, you're gonna see this nice little pop-up that has things running about the CPU usage, networking and stuff like that. So anyway, you click, it goes away. So we're gonna go back. So I'm gonna exit to command line and go back to the ES. And go back. Now let's look. I'm going to give you a few info about the Vanilla Plus. As some of you, very good question of why Vanilla. It was initially Vanilla Nice, Vanilla Plus because my initial plan was to make a base image of PlayBox with just the toolkit and nothing else. And I found out that some of you that might have trouble to install the BGM, install systems like OpenBore, and since I have these custom systems, I prefer to set up for you and things like that. I've added, so that's why I call it Vanilla Plus. So it has some customizations just to make your life easier, but basically it doesn't have anything of the version 2 that I'm working on, and I'm going to call this a pre-release of version 2, which I'm going to use to build the Pi 4 version 2. As I said, it doesn't have any extra configuration, that's why it's a vanilla base. Just the basic things and few things to make your life easier, plus my PlayBox toolkit. So let's move on. We have the RetroPie, we're going to go through that. The power main that you've seen, the Amiga is now at 3.2B, version Pi 4. We have the Dreamcast, and we have the Start Pre-Dream menu that script that I have here for you, so you can set up your keys and everything. Now we have the Solaris. This engine, it's an RPG game engine. This is all the running games they have, and there are a few more in works. The Zelda Chapter 1 on the top one is the newest one. The only problem with this one, and I'm going to report this to the developer, and I've done on the Solaris Discord, but I got no response, is the only game that when you exit, it keeps looping back to restart the game instead of actually exiting and go to the ES. All the rest is fine. So let's start, for example, the Book of Medora. The music will mute, and there you are, the game. So if I press escape, I will go back to the ES, or if you're in the game, you can press back to go and select exit, no save, and it will take you back to the ES. So that's the only thing that I have a problem with this game, and you can hide the game, or it's not really serious, but you can use PATI and with 8-stop command find Solaris and just kill it. If you play the game, I'm sure if you play the game, probably going to play for quite some time rather than just want to kill it in a couple of minutes. But if you want to see what it is, you can start it, and then you just have to do that, unfortunately. That's for the time being. Now we have the MS-DOS as it used to be. The PlayStation, as you can see, I've hidden the PSP and PSP minis. That's the only one that has the script that you can start the PPSPP from here. You can enable it, it's very easy. As I said, you just add the .off extension after the .sh, and it will just hide and you restart your ES. residual VM scan VM is 2.11. Now it's the Steam client, and I'm gonna start it. It needs for you to have network connection, and I've added on the Discord, or you can go to the official Steam and put a Raspberry Pi and you can find out. So I'm gonna press escape, goes back. I will tell you what you require. Now this is the GOG.com client, aka Pi Galaxy. This script I didn't know, but it was removed from the script module from Raspberry RetroPie setup, and I just looked the script and the GitHub of the developers, and I noticed the reason is that it has some certificate errors that point to the package that is being pointed. It has a wrong version, that's why. So basically the script module is not operational, so basically I had to do this manually. I fixed these things and it's running fine. I'm gonna start it up for you to see. So there you are, we have the GOG.com client here. You put your email and password, and more info you can find out on the Pi Galaxy GitHub, or you can play around with the Go client. So I'm gonna go back, cancel. So now this Go client is running on RetroPie 4. So I'm gonna go now and go through the RetroPie menu. The background music, you don't have to disable it or uninstall it. Basically you can go here, it says music on off, and it will mute it. So that's simple if you don't like the music. If you want to add your own music, just go to the ROM's music folder, delete what is there and just put yours. If you want to restore my two selections, you can do it from the PlayBox toolkit. We're going to go through that. So let's go to emulation tools. We have the Amiga tools. I fixed the script. I went through every single script and make sure that it's running on Pi 4, because there's a lot of changes on the Pi 4 compared to the PlayBox version 2. I was working on the Pi 3B. Pi 4 is working a little bit differently, has the new requirements, so I had to go through every single script. I put a date on everyone so I can know where I was left off, and make sure that it's working, have all the requirements and everything needed. I fixed things that my supporters and testers from Discord channel told me about. I listened to you from YouTube that you pointed a couple typos. This is fixed too. So this UA config maker from Hora Spider, he's the creator. It requires this, as you can see on the description, the ROM/Amiga DAS data folder, and that's where you put in the subfolders the ADF files that you have there, or HDF files. And what it does, it will create for you the needed UAE file and put it in as the configuration files to start the game automatically, and it will put it in the Amiga folder. So this one, I noticed is archived by the developer. Anyway, I just created the folders needed in the Amiga data. I checked the thing is running, no errors, and I haven't tested with actual ADF, but the script is running. So we have the configuration editor, we have the ES collection list generator by David Marty, we have the ES Pathfinder custom collections by CyberGhost. And actually I want to thank CyberGhost for his work. He's one of the developers that I really like their works with David Marty. And as you will notice in the release notes, I used his script to enable a nice clean open board 6500 for Pi 4 specifically. Has a new lib file and is running nice and smooth, so nothing compared to the old initial release that took an extra work to make it work on Pi 3B. So this is a nice new script for OpenBoard. So OpenBoard is installed on this base and ready for you as a separate system. You can put your pack files and you can play them. Something about the configuration, in my opinion, is just open up a game, set up your player 1 and player 2 keys and joystick, and then save this in the default configuration. So this way you can have it applied to every single game afterwards, and if you need to do something specific, you just modify that specific game. So we have now light gun aim track configuration and the light gun aim track installed. This I have to update. I had to update the script because the script used on Pi 3 the advanced MAME 1.4, which is not compatible with Pi 4. It's not enabled in the VirtualPi emulators. So, but the AddMAME 3.9 is. So I've changed the script to use the advanced MAME 3.9. I've tested also, a couple of the ROMs that EasyHacks had on the original script, and the mouse is working fine to guide the cursor for the light gun, so it's working. So this script is fixed too. We have RetroArch Connect Play, nothing changed, I haven't done anything to that. We have the saves single folder by RPC, the developer that helped me with my overclocking script too. And this is basically what it does. If you run the script, it will create a folder in the home directory that all the saved games will go into that folder. It won't be in every system under your ROMs folder. So this is not installed. You can install it if you wish. Usually VirtualMan has it installed in his PlayBox releases, so you know what I'm talking about. Now we have the Zinmo and GUI dual arcade controller. It's the new script that I created, and it just amends the cmdline.txt as we talked in the previous video for the vanilla. And we have the controller selection script. Thanks to Tech0, he noticed that this was not working, so I fixed that script and I installed it. So now we can run it and you can see what the script is about. So this is about selecting your joystick. So you can have by this, or you can have it by name. So we can go back and you can set the order, let's say which controller you want by which player. So you can see this is my wireless keyboard that I'm using for the time being to play. So this is the toggle I was talking about, the by name. Nothing to do, I'm going to leave it as default. So it's working. We have the RetroArch. It has my volcanic red color, and it's still the 1.86. I'm going to check the online updater because Tech0 noticed that when you go to the core updater there was no results. So there we are. This points now to the nightly latest cores if you want to install and test one of these. So we're going to go back. We'll go to network tools. That's the basic Bluetooth, what is my IP and Wi-Fi. The system tools, we have the USB modes. I've changed the title on this one so you can see it says Pi 3B. This script is only for the Pi 3Bs that didn't have the factory enabled USB boot. And with this one, if you had never booted PlayBox before, which was already pre-configured, so we'll do it automatically for you, and we'll enable your Pi 3B and make it to boot from USB. Now I just made the title more descriptive. Now we have the USB ROMs, the newest script that I've updated from the original creator Forrest, aka EasyHacks, and this is the one that you've seen a lot lately, and VirtualMan is basing his extra USB packs. What it does, you need an NTFS drive, formatted drive, and you can connect it to your Pi 3 or Pi 4, it doesn't matter. You run the script and you enable this USB drive to use it as an external storage for extra ROMs. Something that I want to clear out with this, as per EasyHacks Samba comments, there's going to be 3 Samba shares. You're going to see it's the one that uses the ROMs SD and the ROMs USB I created. and change the names from the original that EasyHacks had, and the new one, the combo drive. And as per EasyHacks instructions, you never drop anything in the combo drive. You use the combo drive to scrape your ROMs, either if they're in the SD or in the USB. You use the combo folder to scrape only your drives. You will create your game list, you create your art and everything, and put it there, and these go to the SD. But be careful, don't put things in there because it will mess up your setup and you're gonna see weird things popping up. So never use the combo drive, only for scraping. So we have the audio settings, what we know already, the background music setup. This is the new script that I've updated, and this is for installing the background music, removing it totally if you don't want it, and use the volume setting controls. I suggest don't play around. You can the 100% you can use the default 100% volume, and you can use the ES volume to control your volume playing here. So as I said, you don't have to remove the background music. You can just go and mute it from the main menu. Now we have the file manager. What do you know? The reference utility by David Marty. The run command settings, you know about that too. The overclock Pi4 optimized script. This is a new script, and it's similar to the one that my friend RPC, the developer, helped me to use on the 3B, but this is totally different with new values and everything, and I had to do some changes so I can make it work for Pi4. Now we have the reset all controllers, and the same reset controllers option is existing on the PlayBox toolkit. We have the classic Raspi config. We have the new Raspi USB Pi4 config. For the Pi3, I'm going to have the one called Pi3. So this one, basically, if you have like this image, when you burn it on the USB and you want to expand it, you can go to this menu once you boot, and you run the script, and it will expand your USB storage. So you might need 2 times to have the full space visible, but once you run it once, you just reboot and it should be okay. If not, just do a second reboot. Now we have the RetroPie setup. We have the system info and whether I just minimize this to 4 cities so it won't take too long. And we have the PlayBox toolkit. I'm going to go to the RetroPie setup. Let's see if there's anything new. So you can see we have the 4.6.1 2 days ago. I'm going to update the RetroPie script. And let's see if there's anything new. So we have a new one 14 hours ago. So on the public one, I'm going to make sure that you have even a newer one, and you can of course do it yourself. And now I want to go to the manage packages. You can go to the experimental, and you can go to Redream, and if you run this and update from build binary, pre-built binary, you always will get, no matter what, the latest binary for Pi that iKnoller, the creator of Redream, released on his website. So that's very simple. Just run OK, and we'll get, if there's any new binary, we can get it. And I'm going to show you how you can check the version 2. So we're going to go back, and another thing I want to show you is we're going to go to drivers, and you can see that I have only the XPad installed, nothing else. Initially when I did the manual run, there was nothing installed, so I just installed at least the basic one. If you need anything extra, just go and install the drivers you want for PS or Xbox, but you can test first with this one. I'm going to go back, And let's start the PlayBox toolkit. So as you can see, this is my new signature style, menu style. Everything is now grouped. Every script that you're going to run and has a menu is going to be grouped like that. It has a title, and now the PlayBox has the PlayBox fixes selections. We have the PlayBox toolkit selections with the cleanup tool selections, PlayBox info update and power selections. And even if you click on that, don't worry, it's just going to take you there. Nothing, you won't mess up anything. Now let's go through things, because I see a lot of people getting confused with this. The fixed PlayBox custom RetroPie menu, that you run this only from CLI, you don't run it from the ES. Okay, so when you update your core packages and you include in these core packages the RetroPie menu, you're gonna find everything dumped in the root of RetroPie menu. Everything comes from RetroPie menu. So if you want to have the style that I created for PlayBox, you just exit ES, you click one option, and will restore everything to the style that I have on PlayBox. Plus, even if there's updated scripts from RetroPie, it will just put it in the correct folder, so you don't have to worry that you're getting something older. You're getting all the new ones. This script will just put everything where it's supposed to be, and will fix the style of my RetroPie menu. That's what I call custom RetroPie menu. So even if you mess up and you've done it and you run it within ES, you're probably gonna see that you're missing the RetroPie menu, the RetroPie options. So exit to ES. And people before, they had problem running the 2P, the PlayBox toolkit from the CLI because it was missing. So now this is fixed. There's nothing for you to worry. You can always run it no matter what. You messed up this, you can go to the CLI and run the toolkit from the CLI no matter what. Don't worry about it. You cannot mess it up again. Now we have the new region script. So if you updated ROMs, you're gonna notice that ES sort all your systems by alphanumeric order. So only thing you need to do is, only after you finish all your stuff, or if you think you don't want to see the order of alphanumeric, you're gonna put it the way I had it with Kodi first, and the system, let's say options, stuff like that all together, and then the system. Just go to option 2, select your region, and apply it. On the release, the public release, I'm going to have the old with Kodi. So basically you're going to have all systems. Now if you want to have the US or EU, you select, and you can see the systems on the top on number 1 and number 2, which ones you're going to have visible. So I'm going to click there. So you don't have to do every time you do something the PlayBox 1 fix or the 2. As I said, I just explained when you need these. Okay, so we have the repaired jukebox, and this is some ROM folders that I have backed up, and this option 3, that's what it does. It restores this back to the ROMs the way I had it. So we have the BGM emulator new config file. This is the file that actually, the Python script that actually mutes the background music before you start an emulator. So if you messed it up, or if you do something, you can go here and restore it. It covers about 130 systems from my version 2. So that's another thing about this. That's why I call this the pre-release of version 2. I'm going to use this as a base to complete the version 2. Now we have the retro restore to play music selection. This is a new script with sub-script selections. So as you can see, you have 3 options. You have, I want to listen to play selections, similar to what I had on version 2, but it's updated. We have the nice royalty-free tracks. I think I have about 25 royalty-free tracks, similar to the ones we're listening so far. And then if you want, the third option is to mix both of these and have all of these. We're talking about 55 plus 25, about 80 total tracks. So we'll go exit. And you can restore the original slideshow if you messed it up. I've already enabled the slideshow. I'm going to go back to the ES and show you what I'm talking about. Now we have the reset all controls, as you said. We have the top CLI commands. I'm going to go to the CLI and show you. This is about 5-6 of the major ones that you need usually, so you can find it by just pressing the up arrow key. Now we have the resetting and cleaning up your zip folder of the RetroPie setup in case you get some errors. Now we have the force file system recheck at next boot. Thanks to VirtualMan for pointing this out. I used it, so I made this as option 10. And basically, if you feel like you want to release your image based on PlayBox, or you think that your image might have some rootfs corruption, you can run this. Your Pi will boot. It will do a one mount the rootfs, first check it and the file system, and then continue rebooting after the check finished. Now we have option 11 and 12. For those of you with 4K TVs, I enable this, so basically this is a tweak, if you want to use that word, that actually some of you complain that the 4K TVs slow down your emulations in some specific systems. So by this, you can enable, as you can see, on and off, you can force your full system to use 1080p resolution. And by throughout, I mean that is going to use 1080p at booting, and with a splash screen, and within emulation station. So everything will be bezels, everything that has 1080p based, it will work fine. So if you think that is okay and you don't have a problem, for example, my friend Rick Dangerous, he's using an AV receiver that upscales or uses 4K, so you don't have to worry about that, and he doesn't have any problems, as he said, so you can keep it off. The default on this base is off. Now we have the tool selection, we have the skyscraper, you can run it from here. We have the OMX player volume control script. I'm going to run it for you to see. So if you think your splash screen is because they're very loud, as we noticed on Pi 4, so you can go and select these options. You can set it to 75 or 70%. I recommend 75 or 70, depending on your liking. Anything under that would be too low. And setting up back to the default is 100%, or muted totally, there's no sound during boot, is 0%. So I'm going to exit because I set it already to 75. So we go down, we have the cleanup tool, so we have the script that cleans up all the save high.dat files created in the ROMs folder. We have the cleanup favorites and more. If you set up some, it will just remove all of these. I'm going to run it to see the option you have. You see that option 1 and 4 will clear the game lists created in the ROMs directory. It will clear the game list that have auto last played, play count, and favorites from the ES game list, and the ones from both, the option 3 and 6. So what this script does, it just clears anything that you marked or clean up your game list from options as the auto last played, play counts, and whatever was on favorite. Okay, so I'm going to go exit. So I'm going to go now, we have the ES auto game list cleanup. So we have the file system cast cleanup, we just clean up your system. We have, so just to remind you, when you see a script that says only from CLI, just run it from there, so to avoid any problems. So we have show partitions and space, show system free memory info, show OS version and info. I'm going to run this for you. As you can see, we have the Linux PlayBox for 1997 kernel. So we go down to, you can start the Raspberry desktop from here too, but this option is only on where you're in the CLI, or you can use the Start X option from the CLI by using arrow up keys, so you don't have to type it. That's the reason I put it. So we have a full system update. This system update command has the update, the upgrade, the cleanup, and auto removal of unwanted packages. The first two options, the system update and system upgrade, you need these options if you want to update your firmware packages in the lib folder of your Raspbian faster, because that's where it gets, with these two commands, gets the latest files needed if you need to upgrade your EEPROM, your bootloader, and stuff like that. So we go to system full info, similar to the one you see when you exit the CLI. System shutdown and system reboot. The reason I changed the order of shutdown and reboot is because sometimes you want to just quickly reboot. So if you press R key, it will just, let's say you're in the top. If you keep it pressed, it will go all the way and stops at the bottom. So then you can click reboot and done. So this is about the PlayBox toolkit. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna press F5 to see the new updated images screensaver. You can change that to videos if you like. You can press F6, go to other settings, so it's UI settings, screensaver settings, and you can select, instead of slideshow, you can select random video and it will get any random snap videos that you have from games. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to exit to CLI, and as you can see, now we're going to see the options that I've talked about. If you press on the arrow up key, or the up, I would think probably it should work with your joystick, I don't remember well, but on your keyboard, if you press the arrow key, you just get pre-made basic commands, like as you see, the to play fixed playbox, the emulation station, the RetroPie setup. You don't have to type this. The sudo halt basically will just shut down your system. Sudo reboot, start X to start your desktop, and Skyscraper you can start it from here, and then you can run the Raspberry USB Pi config again if you want to expand your USB. You can see it says on top to play Raspberry Pi configuration tool, and then we have the expand USB file system. Ensure that all of the USB mass storage is available. So it's similar to what the normal Raspberry config does. So I'm gonna go back, okay, and I'm gonna go all the way up, and that's it. So I'm gonna now reboot. So thank you very much for watching one more time, and I hope you find this video helpful and to understand what is changed, what is used, what do I have. And before we go, I'd like to just see if I forgot anything from the release notes. So we have the username, the host name for the image is PlayBox, no more PlayBox 4. The username Pi in PlayBox with P capital and B capital for the password, and the host name I changed it so we can have uniformity with the old PlayBox and the new one, so I don't want to confuse people. So we have the kernel for 1997, as we said. It's fully updated to the latest distro update. I have all the ELF and CAT files needed, so if you updated your board with the beta firmware, this image will boot from USB directly. You don't have to do anything extra. Just make sure your board has the latest beta USB enabled firmware, and you just burn it to your USB mass storage device and connect it and boot without an SD card. So this image has these files, the needed files. So we have in this image, and the one I have already given to Virtual Man, so it has what I call the auto RAM split. So basically, depending on your board, if it has 1, 2 or 4 gig Pi 4 board, it will use the appropriate GPU RAM assigned to it, so you don't have to do anything to your config file. Now we have the latest Skyscraper 3.5 installed. What else? I have hidden some stuff with the .off pattern that I'm going to use on version 2, so we're going to have future compatibility. As we said, the PlayBox now toolkit can run even if you messed up your RetroPie menu from the CLI. So we have the latest redream, and I think that's all. Again, thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe if you want to support me in any way, and it helps a lot to see the new subscribers coming in. Join my Discord if you need extra help. Just send me a message and I will just give you an invite so you can join. So again, thank you for your time and thank you for watching. Bye bye.